rice and 2 cotton balls and 3 saps. Like, I'm not gonna waste my precious inventory for like 5 items. Future me will have to deal with it. I can't be bothered, honestly. Kind of works. Sketchy, but it kind of works. Alright. So our numbers are looking good. We're in the 200s for some of our crafts, which is, honestly, we're making a decent pace here. Our max is what? 300 of the rare stuff, 600 of everything else, because we need half of the rare stuff? Yeah, that's what it looks like here. 600, 300, 600, 600. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh. Shows who's looking at the map. Note to self, different chapter. We're waking up with dry lips lately, and I don't know why. We're gonna get a lot of wheat on this one. We have 5 more attempts. Because we have a whole bunch of GP. That's also one of the big things why you should always be looking at maximizing your gear. So you can hit stat breakpoints is what we call them. And if you do happen to hit those breakpoints, you get bonuses. So for gathering, if you happen to hit a level of gathering or perception, you could unlock more attempts. No, how does it work? Gathering gives you more quantities. Perception gives you a higher chance of gatherer's boon. And GP gives you more gathering attempts, is I believe how they have the system set up right now. So, if you're prioritizing gathering a certain object, a certain item, the game will work with you as long as you can hit your stat points. That's not normally something you'll need to worry about leveling up, but it is definitely something you want to worry about as you hit the breakpoint levels. By that I mean 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and soon to be 100. Because certain items you can't even gather unless you have the stats to gather it. The game will say your gathering is too low, so your gathering chance is 0%. They won't even give you the chance to try for it unless you have enough gathering points or perception. Gatherer's boon used to be high quality. Certain items couldn't be high quality unless you had enough perception. The game will again say, instead of having a base 10 or 20%, we're going to make it 0 because you're not hitting that stat point. The system did change when we replaced high quality materials with Gatherer's Boon, which just gave you more. But the principle still kind of stands, where, stats do matter, right? Like fighting a boss in a combat class. If you don't have enough attack and your enemy has too much defense, you're not going to hit. You're not going to hurt. Or if their dodge is too high and you don't have enough accuracy, you're not going to hit it at all, right? So increasing your stats as you level up, I believe Krusty said it earlier, future-proofing yourself, for instance, is always a good thing to do. Absolutely. Now, you don't have to obsess over it. The game will drip feed you gear as you progress, right? But if you really want to make the most of the class you're in, you want to have the highest, the highest stats you can, depending on the content you do, the game will give you the tools to get there, right? You just have to be, you have to persevere. You have to be able to put in the time and the in-game money in order to get that far, right? Unexpected error? Yeah, it happens. Final Fantasy is still spaghetti code. Sometimes the game will just not like something and hiccup. You might have to wait a couple of minutes because the game will still kind of have you registered as logged in, even though you're not. You'll see that as you try to log back into your character. The game will be like, hey, you're already here, but you're not. When that pop-up shows up, if it shows up, you're in a queue. So just don't push the button, and the game should kind of like fix itself. I don't know if you heard me finger snapping, but you know, same principle. We have a node of thunder. Look at that. Perfect timing. Oh, the stream errored? What? Weird. No, I'm running on all cylinders, sweetheart. I don't know what happened. Yep, I've got nothing crashed on my end. Goodness. Well, welcome back. Sorry about that. You lost signal here at your house? Oh. Yeah, I hate to say I can't really control that, love. But welcome back. Absolutely. I'm gonna get so much of this, whatever this is. You have returned? Welcome back. We're glad to have you here in the foreground or the background. Primary, secondary stream. I'm just happy you're here with us, enjoying the non-combat aspects of this wonderful game. As I smack a rock. Riveting gameplay here, folks. Click button, smack rock. But that did give us like 47 living shards. 42 total, which I think is a bit below average. And then we do now have this to fire to get some crystal. Yay! Wind is what I want to see. Do I get the 1 in 6-2 in a row? Nah. Okay. I thought maybe I could get super lucky, but... Oh, because I'm technically in combat. What was I talking about? Not the crashing, but before that. Oh, goodness me. I completely lost my train of thought. Did I have a train of thought, or was it more of a us? No matter. A small part of me doesn't want to take a break. A small part of me wants to just stay in the Diadem for the full 180. So basically 3 out of like the 5 or so hours I'm going to stream today. We'll see how I feel in about 20 minutes. I might take... I'm thinking I'm going to take a break, if only so I can have a small lunch to tide me over before grocery shopping. But we'll see. Never grocery shop on an empty stomach. You will end up buying a whole bunch of stuff. Well, you'll end up just buying snacks, really, is my experience. Like, I'm hungry now, but I should buy food that I can prepare for dinner later. But I'm hungry now. Right? It's just like, I could buy, you know, I could buy some deli meats and stuff and make a sandwich now, or I could buy some dinner meats to have dinner for the next week or so. So, my experience is, never shop on an empty stomach. Bad stuff happens. Mostly to your wallet. Where am I going? Oh, this one? Cool. If I'm quick enough, I can get maybe 1 or 2 more Aether shots on the sprites thing. So yeah, see here, my gathering is at 2740. You kind of can't see it with the background. So I get 3 more. Because my gathering is, well, very high. I'm on level 90 gather and level 80 content. But, oh, right, I was talking about that system. Yeah, so that's kind of an incentive to get your stats up, right? So again, my perception is high, so I get gathering yield. Because, again, normally if your perception was high enough, you would get bonus to Gatherer's Boon, or back then it was high quality chance. But when they reworked the system, they had to rework the bonuses. So now perception usually gives like an equal chance. I think gathering and perception share an equal chance of either getting extra items or in some way, shape, or form. Either you just get more or your gatherer's boon chance shoots up. Something like that. Don't test me on this. I'm not, you know, I'm not an exact scientist on this matter. But I do know GP correlates with gathering attempts. That is, I believe, like, I'm certain about that, like 90%. Luckily, we're about 2/3 of the way there. 1/3 of the way there. Look at us. Look at us chugging along. The only thing we need is more of those Galewood logs. My goodness. Real quick before you go away, I'm going to say you're water. Well, I got lucky. Or am I prophetic? You'll never know, chat. Honestly, if I was prophetic, would I be... No, I'd still be doing this. I love this game too much. I could be like a multi-thousandaire, you know, like a small time rich person, like well off. Not rich, but like well off. And I'd still play this game, honestly. Even if I had the money to do other things. This game's just so good. I love this game. We're gonna need a fire. Yeah. Okay. We're running behind on wheat, so let's see if there's a wheat node around here. Hopefully that pops up. Yeah. Okay. So the color of... Could I get a materia rundown? Yeah, what do you need to know about materia? Can you reslot them? Yes. Okay, so a quick and dirty intro to materia. Once you unlock a specific level, specific quest, I believe it's level 15, you will unlock the ability to extract materia from your gear. So, if we look at my helmet here, you'll see that there's 2 bars next to the icon. There's a green one and a blue one. The green one's pretty full, the blue one's about half full. The green one is going to be your armor's durability, your condition. The blue one is your spirit bond level. So you want to keep the green one high, and the blue one will charge over time as you use the gear for its intended purposes. So you can't just put on crafting and gathering gear and fight a bunch of mobs and have it spirit bomb that way. No, you actually have to craft and gather, you know, in order to get it spirit bonded. Now what spirit bonding does is it allows you to extract. You'll get a command called extract materia here. Or right here. Really? I'm trying to do something, game? Oh, it's because I'm gathering. Okay. You'll get a command in your sub-command menu called extract materia. When your spirit bond is at 100%, your character will do an animation, and you will get the materia. You'll extract a free piece of materia out of your gear/tools. The type and level of materia depends on the type and level of the armor. So because I'm using level 90 gear, endgame gear, and I'm using endgame crafter gear, I will get endgame crafter materia. If we look over here, so we have some endgame crafting materia here. Right now 10 is the highest level. So this is endgame crafting material. Now the way material works is that you can melt. So if you look at any piece of gear, you'll see here that underneath your stats, your bonus stats, there's those 2 circles where it says materia. Those are your materia slots. Kind of like most people compare it to Final Fantasy VII, if you play that game with their materia melding system. Weapons and armors have materia melt slots, right? So all you have to do is open up your submenu and click melt. The game will open up a menu, and it will show you all the gear you have that can be melded, and all the materia you have on you in your inventory. And then you can go through all of like what you have on you physically, stuff in, you know, your weapons, your shields, your armor, your necklaces, things like that. So all you have to do is click the item you want to melt, and then click the appropriate material. Your enhancements, or the stats you get, are down here. The stat on the left is what the gear gives you. The stat on the right is how much the gear can give you at max level, you know, max melts, right? It's to prevent you from trying to tackle level 80 content with level 70 gear, you know, because you just put so much stats on it. It gives you an incentive to keep upgrading. One of the big things is that you cannot meld materia where its requirements of item level is higher than the item level of the item you're trying to put on. So if you look at these Milpreeves, which is the Sage's main weapon, they're little like obelisks. My item level is 515. It's a level 80 weapon. This materia here, I need level 560. And you can see on my character that this is 620. So I can meld it on this. I can't meld it on this. Now, if I go to something I can meld it on, like let's say this claw hammer, it lights up, right? And then if we look down here, if I highlight craftsmanship highlights and shows the new stat totals, right? So I go from 1208 to 1235. So when you're melding, you can kind of see where it's going. Now, if what you're putting on, like CP plus 10, is higher than what the gear is willing to give you, you will over melt. You'll lose those stats. Plus, it'll be harder to melt because you're not doing it efficiently. For the most part, as an early level, relatively early level crafter and gatherer, you're not going to care about this system. Melds are very small, +1, +2, right? But as you get to like my level, melds make all the difference. So the max level something will let you meld is 5 materia. We call that penta melting. Penta 5, and then word melding. You don't need to do this, but I do, because of who I am as a player and what I do in the game that necessitates this. In order to penta meld, though, you need to make sure you hit your chances. So when melding, there's always a chance that it will fail. Always. Unless it's the first 2 slots. First two slots are gimmies. They will always let you meld first 2 slots, even if the stats doesn't work. So I can give my sword craftsmanship. Will that do anything? No. Can I do it? Yeah. Will people look at me funny? Oh, definitely. But this meld will always succeed. So this is what happens when we meld. Right? I'll give you a rundown. Do a little animation. I do a little yay, and it's melted. So now if we look at it in my inventory, my Rinkasita sword. Where is it? There it is. It's melted. Now, you can unslot melts. You can unmelt things. Absolutely. That was your original question, and that's what I was trying to get to. So all you have to do is open up your submenu and click Retrieve Materia. Now, depending on the materia, there is a failure, and you will lose the materia. So there is some buyer's remorse. This is only for higher level materia. Lower level materia, this doesn't happen because they're lower level, they're easier to get, you can get them, they're just easier to acquire, so the buyer's remorse is less. But for something like this level 10 materia, where it's not as easy to get, I'd have to do turn-ins with my seals, for instance, or do certain content. This is harder. So what'll happen is I will click begin. I will attempt to get it, and I got it. So now it's back in my inventory. All right. So that's kind of the nitty-gritty, materia for dummies, basically. Again, as you're leveling up and you're going through gear as you're leveling up, material melding helps, but it's not necessary. If you're planning to go the extra distance like I do, and you're planning to become, you know, one of these, material melding kind of becomes like super important, because it, remember those stat breakpoints where I mentioned, where if you get your stat a certain number or a certain amount, you get bonuses, or you're actually able to get what you want to get in the first place. And relative endgame gathering, I'm sorry. So 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90, and again, soon to be 100 with Dawn Trail, requires, not optional, requires you to hit certain stat points. So if you can't make the gear yourself that can just give you the raw numbers, maybe because you don't have that leveled up, you don't have the money or the time, you know, again, real world stuff happens, and I hope you prioritize your real world responsibilities over a video game, personally. But for whatever reason you don't have the ability to get the gear, melding is a great way to get you to those breakpoints without having to invest hours and in-game materials and in-game currency for a helmet, right? So melding is a great supplemental tool that can be used for beginners and intermediate crafters and gatherers. And speaking of, I can't change to my gatherer class, but I can actually do this. I can open my gear set, and I can preview. Oh, that's what it looks like. I'm sorry. Display set? Here. And you can see I'm pentamelded all the way through on my crafters. Materia on everything. And that's because I need this in order to craft those expert crafts, for instance. The level 90 ones. Like, not the ones we're doing with the Diadem. Those I can do in my sleep. But this is to craft some of the hardest stuff in the game. And again, you don't have to go this length. You don't. Nobody does. You can just get this gear, meld the first 2 slots, which are the easiest slots to meld because they're guaranteed. Again, if you look at the sword here, first 2 slots are open, 100%. You can do that. Absolutely. There's no shame in just getting the first 2 melded. Right? It'll just take you a bit more time because you don't have the stats to brute force your craft. Or if you're following a guide on the balance or team craft or garland tools, you know, you don't have the stats that they have, so you'll have to modify your rotation a bit. And that's, you know, that's on, unfortunately, that is on you to figure out how you're going to get the result you want when you don't have the stats you have. It's like fighting a boss at low level, like doing level 1 runs on Elden Ring, or doing low level runs on Pokemon, or on your favorite RPG, right? You have to plan and figure out how you're going to beat the content or complete the objective with lower stats than what is expected, than what the game expects you to have, right? So material melding is a very important part of endgame, but it can also be optional for the most part, you know? Just put 2 slots in and call it a day. For instance, the gear that I have for my bard, my main combat class, I can't overmeld. It will not let me. It says right there under my level, above where I have dyed it purple, because purple is the best color in the world, don't at me. Advanced melding forbidden. That means I can't meld it with 5. Again, it's to make sure that I don't brute force my way through content and break what the developers intended me not to break, right? It's to make sure that I can play the content the way it's supposed to be played and experience it the way it's supposed to be experienced, because that's what the developers intended. Now, if I do this, right, if I pentamelded all of this, I wouldn't need to get, you know, the better gear, the raid gear, right? Because I would just have this stuff. I just make my own gear, pentamelded, call it a day, right? So it's, again, another incentive for me to keep getting better, keep doing more content, doing harder content, getting the rewards for it. But like you can see here, this is my raid gear. This is what I raid with whenever I decide to raid. And I tackle the hardest content in the game wearing this. And it's not pentamelded. It's just 2 slots, right? Even though it's by the game's design, 2 slots. Most people don't even meld that. I can't even meld my bow. It's a relic weapon. I'm not supposed to be able to. All my stats are there. But again, you can do what you want while ignoring the melding system. Is it recommended? No. General consensus is it's a very much a zero downfall system to do, especially considering that the game throws a whole bunch of stuff your way to help you with it, right? But do you have to do it? Is anybody going to hold a weapon to you and say, meld your gear, or you're going to get it? No. 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 They're not. But you can reslot them. You can meld whatever you like to whatever you like, as long as you're willing to deal with the system telling you no sometimes, because it's still random. It's still RNG. You will get, when melding this stuff, where is it? My earrings. Melding my earrings was so, like, this is an 80% chance to get it back, but melding this was a 7% chance to get this to stick. I went through so much of this particular materia, this gathering plus 14 materia, that I almost caused myself to go broke. I was desperate to get this melded because I needed the stats, right? And you don't have to do what I did. You don't have to go all in. You can stop at GP plus 8. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see me. You can stop at perception, or you can just meld the first 2 slots right here and call it a day, right? But I wanted to go the extra distance because of who I am as a player and, you know, how I feel my role is in terms of how I play this game, right? But that's me. I'm not you. You do you, all right? But I hope it's a lot of info, but I hope that pretty much answers, like, all of your nitty-gritty material questions. And of course, if you have any more, feel free to tell me to shut up and ask me more questions. I don't mind answering them. Oh. Oh, we got double Levenstorm. Double Levenstorm while I was explaining that. Whoopsies. Well, I mean, we're right here. Might as well go get it. Yeah, so I hope that was pretty... what is the word I'm looking for? Digestible? Yeah, I like that. I hope that was pretty digestible. Not a lot of information over there. But yeah, Materia is a good system. It's a good callback to Final Fantasy VII, who is the most iconic use of material, followed by 9. It's not a necessary system in place, but it can definitely help you with harder content and help you enrich your general content as you play the game. I mean, I'm not going to say more of this. I think I need like 800. I think I need 800 of all of these grade 2s, if I'm looking at my numbers correctly. So I'm not saying no to this, but these aren't logs. We're working for logs, not Levenstone. Right? So it's like, a part of me is just like, yay, more, you know, Umbral stuff. We need a good chunk of those. But also a small part of me is just like, no, this isn't the ones I needed, right? Like looking at gift horse in the mouth type thing. I don't know. I'm just mixed on it. We got 90. Oh, we also got an achievement. Look at that. What is this? With minds unclouded. What is that for? So when looking at your achievements, you can actually look at your list, and it'll show you your last 5. Mine 50 clouded mineral deposits or rocky outcrops. Look at us! We're getting achievements just by smacking things. And then you can display filtered, and it'll show you what category that achievement is on. So let's see if we can't find... Oh, here it is. So we get one for 500, and we get an achievement for 1,000. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's a lot, though. I don't think we're going to get that far. You never know, though, right? But look at that. So we're getting achievements just by doing stuff, which is kind of the point, right, of our current streams. At least that's the point I'd like to make our streams as of going forward. Just chewing through Diadem. All right, we're gonna enable some quick gathering. We all hanging in there? I hope I didn't lose you all with that giant, like, info dump. So we're gonna gather until about, well, for a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna take our regularly scheduled midday break. Basically, I'm gonna get a small snack in my stomach, like I said. You know, bio break. You know, I encourage you all to do the same. Stretch. Take a break from whatever you're doing. You know, get yourself some more of your favorite drink, or some more of your needed drink. Take your meds if you have to. Come on, med check's always important. And we can continue working on our Diadem adventures. Ooh, I have a shooting McShooter. Here we go. I like how I aim it. Ooh, that gave me a bit of everything. That's cool. I was about to say, I like how I'm shooting into the ground because it's at an incline, and yet I still shot up here. Animations. Gotta love it. So what's a good breakpoint? We have about 200 of everything, so we can make about 20 more. So honestly, yeah, let me take my own advice and chew through this a little slower. We don't need to be in here for hours upon hours, right? We can take our time. We can have fun with it. So while I get out of Eureka, I'm gonna re-up on some tea. I think I'm gonna change it up and get some Irish. Irish breakfast is always a good tea, I think. Again, not that I don't like the chai, but it's just, I don't know. I guess I'm just not used to the aftertaste, I think, is my biggest ick with it. So I do encourage you all to do the same. Get up, stretch, take a break, you know. As always, thank you for being with me today, and I will talk to you all in 5 minutes or so. Welcome back. Sorry about that. Took a little longer than I thought. Excuse me. Alright, thank you for joining me, as always. So we're going to do some crafting, break away from the Diadem for a bit, and then when we're done, we're going to jump back into the Diadem. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Pick our spot here. Run our carpenter. And... oh! Right. Skipped a step. You have to get these approved. Okay. Any fishy stuff? Nope. Alright, we got a whole bunch of scripts too. Oh wow, yeah, we got a whole bunch of scripts. Alright, and then we're just gonna do some quick sorting here. Because you know me and my sorting. Okay. Everything else seems to be okie dokie. Alright, yeah, let's get to crafting. Okay. So I had a little peanut butter on toast for a small little snack. I've got my Irish roast in front of me. Irish breakfast, I should say, not Irish roast. Can you please work? Ugh. One more chance. Yeah, that's, not good. That's what that is. So we're gonna have to try to save this somehow. This gets 700 per pop. Okay, so that'll finish. So we're gonna just do one more fruit. There we go. And then we still have minute buff, so I wanted to innovate here. That way we have an extra durability during this manipulation cycle, just in case we get it good. If we don't, that's fine. Sturdy's good. It's basically a free. That'll bring us down to 9, so we'll have to manip mass innovation one more time. Our CP is going to get super low, and we're going to have to ignore the goods, unfortunately. But I think we can still kind of make this work. I don't think we're getting there cheap with this one. Okay, wow, we just barely got it above 970. Let me double check the achievements. Is there a requirement for having it max quality? Filter everything out like always. 100 extra recipe items for the second phase. Oh, so technically we don't have to go through all this. We could just stop at 850 plus. But that's not who I am. That's not what I want to do, so. There we go. At least we made something, right? Hopefully this tea also clears up my stuffy nose. Okay. I'm gonna give this a try. I'm gonna give it a try, please. Oh, goodness. This game really likes to play with my nerves. Also, it looks like my glasses are going. It's kind of cool. Yes, I believe I know who the murder suspect was. Gleam. I'm sorry, I'm just messing around here. Oh, that's a good. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna tricks of the train. Because I'm paranoid. Because we're gonna use a train finesse to get that last 200 or so. Okay. Alright. I think we'll make 20. We'll just get through what we have and then go back in. Right, I keep wanting to go straight to innovation. I have to train myself. But here we go. It took me a minute. I had to pause because I'm like, that's a good. Wait, don't click. Shift over to the left. There we go. Yeah, we'll innovate here. That should get us there. Alright. Free throws. Shots and careful. There we go. Please. Goodness, thank you. What? Again, I had to pause there as my brain wanted to click the first one, but I'm like, wait, this isn't good. Shift your mouse over. Hit your nose. Whoop! Just spilled my tea, guys. Be right back. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness me. Oh, goodness me. All over the table. All over my keyboard. Oh, goodness. The joys of drinking tea while streaming. Tea. The cons of drinking tea while streaming. Spilling it all over your stream setup. It's just me trying to get the liquid out of my keyboard. Hopefully. Whew. Okay. Sorry about that, chat. So what had happened was I had went to grab my teacup, and it was a bit fuller than I thought it was, so it spilled on my hand, and my hand jerked, and, well, stuff happened. So, hopefully, I did not ruin my keyboard. Hopefully. There's the sound of me trying to clean my keyboard. Goodness me. Okay. Hopefully that did not break anything, and if it did, I will be sad, but it will have been warranted considering what I just did. Okay. Alright, we're good? We're good? We're good? Everything's still working? Okay. Ooh, sorry about that. We were prudent touching. Okay. Let's get back to the show in the room. Spilled it all over my sweater. I'll have to change that out before I leave. That's fine. Okay. I wanted to go for it, but Inner Quiet was at 9, not 10, so I didn't think it would go the entire way. So. Okay. So, other than my team mishap, how are y'all doing today? You're doing good, chat? Yeah, that is hot. Oh, goodness. Where am I hungry? But I hope we're all doing good today. That's not going to be enough, so we'll have to do it one more time. Remember, 72 is our breakpoint for max quality. Again, I just found out we don't have to make a max quality, but there's no reason not to get into the, not to get in the habit. Because I think the more max quality we make, especially on the grade 4 stuff, the more scripts we'll be able to exchange over there for those rewards that I actually don't have. Okay, now you're being nice to me, and I don't know why, and that makes me kind of flippy. So, I'm hoping that means my keyboard won't break. I kind of have a groove when it comes to the Inner Quiet stuff. Now that I'm kind of comfortable with what I'm doing. Because this should get us 10 and 72? Yeah. So that kind of lines up a bit better. One less button press, I think. No, and again, you can, as long as you have the CP and you want to test it out under trial synth, you can do whatever rotation you feel comfortable with. You can just push buttons and see what happens. You know, you do you, right? But for me, you know, that centered there was really good. And a precise switch accurate. And I think somebody just leveled up in the background, so good job them. You know, so for me though, I'm kind of, I wouldn't say obsessed, but I'm very much a efficiency type of player with any game that I play. Honestly, not just Final Fantasy. It's about, okay, what's my game plan and how can I do it efficiently if I'm doing multiple things in a row, right? Farming, grinding out stuff, right? So my thoughts always go to how can I do this as efficiently as possible to maximize my time spent, basically. So I can't help but think like that, even on not Final Fantasy games. It's a bit. It can be a bit much, but it is what it is. You're being super nice with the rapid sense. I'm not complaining, I'm just concerned. Okay. I need you to blink twice, Final Fantasy XIV, if you're in trouble. Well, I shouldn't be so dramatic. I think it's paying for it with, I was about to complain about your lack of goods, and then you do this to me. Goodness me. Technically, you can do Great Strides Innovation first into Viregots, because Great Strides only works on your next touch action. Innovation works for the next 4 steps total. So you get an extra use of Innovation, like an extra turn of it, if you need to Viregots desperately, but you still didn't hit the breakpoint. Let's say your math didn't math, or you got an unexpected core. So technically, Great Strides into Innovation into Viregots is the the preferred way to do your final Viregots combo. Technically. Me, I've been doing Innovation into Great Strides for my entire time crapping, so again, that's more of a muscle memory thing, and just, hey, time for my Viregots combo. Innovation, Great Strides, Viregots, right? So, you do you. But looking at the tooltips, you can kind of get a feel for, like, your flow of buffs to maximize their use. Because you kind of have to think, well, if I do one buff and then another buff, the first buff's actually going to last one less step, because one of those steps is going to be used up doing another buff, right? It's why whenever I Manipulation at low durability, I use Innovation, or I use Veneration, depending on what I'm doing, because Manipulation will give me 5 points of durability after every step, no matter what I do. So if I can kind of get 5 points to work with if I use a not durability using ability. Alright, so I kind of, so watch, actually, I can show you in action. So we have the 45 here, and that reminds me, I'm so sorry. There we go. Okay, make sure y'all can see that. We have the 45 durability here with Manipulation up. So if I click Innovation, even though I didn't do anything, I still got 5 durability back. So that's a cool way for you to, like, kind of manage your durability use in interesting ways, I think. And for some crafts, it's for some rotations, it's required. You know, some rotations will have you do an opener into Manipulation, Waste Not, Innovation to get those 10 durability back you used up using one of these, because you have Manipulation running in the background. So that's something to keep in mind. We still need 72, so just pop in a Trained Finesse and collect it. Okay. How many do we have of these right now? We have 9? Okay. So, like, if I did my normal rotation here, that's how I would do it, right? And then I would groundwork my butt off. Groundwork is actually fine, so we'll do it. And then I would Innovate, get 5 back, and then I would Prep Touch. And then whenever I get a good, I would go straight to Precise Touch instead. I didn't there because I saw it too late, but there you go. So now I can Innovate, Great Strides, Viregots. And then one Careful Synth later. And there you go. Just as well as the other times, right? I didn't get enough Umbra Logs to make 10 more, so we're going to have to skip on that. So we'll just turn in what we got, and we'll go back into the Diadem. getting about 3 strips. The 982, it says here, we'll get 2 strips. That's fine. That's whatever. We're not doing this for the strips, right? We're doing it for the achievement tournaments. So that should knock us up to 50. We're halfway there. Hopefully we are also not, as the song goes, living on it forever. And we're starting to accumulate Skyward scores. Skyward points. We shouldn't have to grind for the Skyward Saw achievements to get the Frame of the Firmament rewards, like the title. We should be able to get that just by doing these, right? And if we're missing any, then we can just grind out whatever the 4th phase recipe is. So that's not really something to worry about, but look at that. We're halfway there. Alright. I'm curious to see what we can buy. Let's see what we can get, Chet. Ernie, what do you got for me? Scripts. Wow, a whole lot of nothing. Well, I can get well-bred. I can get 2 minions. 4 minions. No, we can get a whole lot of minions, actually. I can get a Pegasus. We can get a barding for our Chocobo and a whole bunch of songs. And then we can get some triple triad cards. Goodness me. But the big stuff we're not going to be able to afford for quite a while. Interesting. An illustrated manual detailing how to operate the quaint device known as a broom, in event of dire circumstances involving the absence of one's servants. So that's where people learn how to use that broom emote that I see everywhere. Fair. Because triple triad is a thing, I'm just gonna grab one of each card. And then, not much else I can buy there. Unless there's, other stuff. Let's check. No? Then let's check, gears and furnishing. Okay, so there's gear there. There's, some furnishing stuff. There's a costume set you can wear. And some more furnishing stuff. Okay. So, nothing I need out of that menu. Nothing I would want. That's not to say you. And then, of course, this is where you would get the, this is where you would get all of the material and materia, as you can see here, for your tool relic. Okay. So we got 2 cards. That's good. It's 2 cards I don't need to worry about. Alright. Let's go back in. Hello, Commander. Yes, I will be traveling to the Diadem. You know, when it's not all over my pants, this tea's really good, as always. Gave me goosebumps. You know that feeling when you drink something refreshing on any given day, really? Like, you drink something warm on a cold day or something cool on a warm day, and you can kind of feel it going down, like going down your esophagus and inside your body, and it feels all cool and tingly. Like, I love that feeling. Like, if you're drinking, like, a nice cup of hot cocoa or something on a cold winter day, or a nice refreshing cup of tea, iced tea, even. Always so good. So our goal right now is to hopefully stumble upon another Umbral Gale. Because that's what we're really, like, gunning for. For every 10 we make, we need 50 Umbral Gale logs. So we'll chill out here. See if we get any Umbrals. Umbral Gales. Well, obviously we'll farm any Umbral thing we come across, because we're going to need all of them. But, you know, Umbral Gales are preferred, obviously. Good drop. Good. What is this? Wow, all the way over there. My goodness. Is this tree right here? No, it's actually this bush next to it. Wheat. Eh, fine. I don't have to like it. Kind of putting in order what we need versus what we don't. And I'm actually going to go to my little thing, because we did just turn in 10, right? So we are actually going to edit the amount here and knock that down. So we have an updated list of materials. 500 of each, 250 of each. Okay. And what do we got? Quite a bit. So we can't do much until we hit that Umbral Gale. I don't really want to spend more gil than I have to. Not because I'm being stingy or cheap, but I have a goal with my gil, saving up for Dawn Trail. So, you know, I'm trying to keep in accordance with that. I think I have actually a couple of commissions that I have to finish up. I can finish that up tomorrow. Just thinking about what I'm doing off stream. Yeah, I can finish up some commission work tomorrow. That'll give me a decent chunk of change. Couple of pieces of gear, a couple of crafting foods, and I think I have that one person who needs a whole bunch of ethers. Oh, I guess we're going back. Oh, we're going kind of clockwise today. Cool. Whee! Donk. We're gonna see our... Oh, we got our monkey buddy. Hi, monkey buddy. I had the weirdest thought that if he did a roll jump like you can do in Donkey Kong, you could probably get places, right? Just casually break the laws of physics. Casually, by the way. Or he could be like Donkey Kong in Smash, where he just holds his arms out and spins really, really hard to go the distance, right? But I think where he wants to go is like all the way like over there or over there, so like, good luck. Just, I need a flying mythical dog in order to get places. No, back here. And the vegetation's growing a bit weird this particular instance. Honestly, it might be faster if I just went down. Who's a good doggy? You are. Thank you. Hey, congrats on your level up. So unfortunately, right now we're in an Umbral waiting room. Looks like it's Umbral Duststorm. Okay. I believe that's mine. Just have to wait for the node to light up, and then we know where to go. Come on. There it is. Dust storms are okay. You're quite low on the list of storms we need, considering the two classes that use them are at the end, Culinarian and Alchemist, from what I can gather. I'll double check that before I start spouting stuff I don't know nothing about. Yeah. So, yeah. So we technically don't need the Umbral. Oh, Levin Sap, really? Galewood Sap? Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm not wrong. Either way. It does us a bunch of good to just focus. Let's see what kind of crystals you give me. I liked it when you gave me a whole bunch. That was kind of cool. Like a rainbow of crystals. Ice. Okay. And like always, we are gonna put our all into getting as much as this as we can. So we've had 1 wind, 2 lightning, a fire, and a earth. Not bad. Oh, right. Okay. Oh! And look at that. We got the Sights Unclouded achievement. I'm assuming this is the minor equivalent of the other one we did. Just curious here. Ah, yeah, so it looks like this is just the minor version of that one. Did we do 50 exactly? Oh my goodness, look at that. Yeah, so this actually can tell you how often I've been in here. The fact that I'm just now smacking these Umbral stuff 50 times. I basically jumped in here to grab the Sky Song relic tools and just bounced out, really. Younger me was a bit of a rusher. Oh, cool. We're looking for a Spodite, please. There you are. Earth. Okay. Parses. Considering we are in a dust storm. Again, free crystals is free crystals, right? You're not saying no to that. Besides, we've actually almost got 1,000 wind crystals, which is, I normally like to keep like 3,000 on me at any given time, depending on you know, what I want to craft versus what I think I need to craft versus what I think I want to craft, you know, etc., etc., etc. As always, if you don't have the time, energy, patience, what have you, to gather the crystals yourselves, you can always just get them off the market board. People are willing to put in the time. In fact, if you ever find yourself on my server and you're buying crystals in bulk, you might see one of my retainer names up there. I'm not going to tell you which ones, because that would be playing the market board, and that's kind of scummy. But you might. Depends on how much I get during our weeks-long adventure throughout Eureka. Not Eureka. Oh, goodness. Eureka's a whole ballgame. Eureka's like the Diadem, but for combat classes. Diadem. To finish articulating said thought. I think it's just better to go down. Going up, I think, definitely is faster on those little, what do they call them? Windmires. But going down, I mean, it's gravity, right? I also want to do that, because you're a special. Whenever I find myself with an overabundance of crafter scripts, I just buy grip gel. I buy grip gel and immutable solutions in bulk, pretty much. Well, grip gel is white, immutable solutions is purple. I feel the need to stress that. So whenever I find myself in bulk of either, I get either or. My immutable solutions are on my chocobo, which is why you only see the grip gel. Besides, the crafts I'm doing don't need the solutions, they need the grip gel. Or they did, and I used them up, and I don't need the rest of them. You know, you can kind of understand where I'm going with that, even if I kind of don't. I don't know why I have my inventory open. There's honestly no reason to really closely track my inventory counts, because we're specifically waiting for the Umbral Windstorm. I mean, we could look ahead and, for instance, look at what we might need for smithing, which is the next down the line. For instance, I know that requires the fire stuff, right? The Umbral